Looking to buy a house in Los Altos? Well, that's where I'm here right now. So I'm actually in downtown Los Altos more specifically, and this is kind of the center of activity here in the city of Los Altos. So this downtown is, very small compared to most downtowns you'll see in the Bay Area. It's mainly just composed of two streets. You have Main Street to my right and then State Street to my left. And it's also just a lot older, right? It doesn't seem like a lot of buildings have been built like very new. I see a lot of boutique shops, I see a lot of banks, I see a lot of restaurants mainly. And right now we're filming this in the middle of the afternoon, so I think right now people are still at work, it's still kind of hot, and I think you have to come later at night where you'll see more than normal foot traffic. In terms of activities, every Thursday night there's going to be a farmer's market here in downtown Los Altos. So if you really like to check out the farmer's market, make sure you come to downtown Los Altos on Thursday night. So let's talk about the city of Los Altos. So Los Altos is meant to be like a gateway city. It's meant to connect two cities, Palo Alto and Los Gatos. And it was supposed to host a train station by the Southern Pacific Railroad at the time. And Los Altos is actually, in Spanish, it means the heights, which means they thought like this was like the highest elevation here in the Bay Area. And that's kind of the origin story of Los Altos. Now, from a location standpoint, Los Altos, you're pretty close to Los Altos Hills. You have Los Altos to the west, you have Palo Alto to the north, and then you got Mountain View to the south. So you're pretty much tucked into kind of that eastern part of Silicon Valley, maybe almost the very bottom of the peninsula. And overall, Los Altos is actually a very rural city. They actually intentionally do that. Like, they don't really want a lot of commercial stuff. They don't want a lot of sidewalks and residential. You just see when we drive around the rest of the city, is really not any sidewalks at all. And it's just kind of meant to be kind of very only cars, not meant to be a very private area. This part of downtown Los Altos is kind of one of the rare parts of the more commercial areas. So as you kind of see, you go across the Bay Area, honestly, the more private areas, they're actually one of the more expensive areas. You would think the expensive areas would be the ones with all the amenities, really close by, in the big urban cities. But actually here in the Bay Area, it's mostly one of the older areas. Buildings that you feel haven't been updated in 50 years. Those are actually probably the more expensive cities here in the Bay Area. So in this video, I'm going to show you 3 different houses in 3 different neighborhoods of houses that just closed escrow this past month. So you get a real up-to-date of what the real estate market here is in Los Altos. I'll show you houses that are below the median sales price, at the median sales price, and way above the median sales price. So you get the full range, what's the least you can spend here in Los Altos, and what's the most you can spend here in Los Altos. So if you're new to this channel and you want to know everything about there is about living in the Bay Area, then subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know the current real estate market here in the Bay Area. My name is Austin Lee, and I get calls and emails every single day from people just like you who are looking to make that move here in the Bay Area. So whether you're making that move in 9 days or 9 days, give me a call, shoot me a text, or set an appointment on Candy, and I'll promise I'll help you make a smooth move here in the Bay Area. So alright, let's go check out some houses. So for our first neighborhood, we're going to drive 10 minutes south of where we just were and drive south of Los Altos to a neighborhood called the Loyola neighborhood. And check out this house that just sold right behind me just a few weeks ago. So this house that sold right behind me, it's a 4-bed, 2-bath. It's about 2,000 square foot, and it sold for $2.45 million, which I know sounds crazy, right? This house doesn't look very nice, to be honest, but $2.45 million, actually in Los Altos, that's actually a really good steal because that's about $1,200 price per square foot. So to give you a little bit more context, the median price per square foot here for sales here in Los Altos is about $1,900. So the fact that this buyer is able to get this house at that price, that's a really good deal. But obviously, there's definitely got to be some work to be done for sure. But this house is actually listed at $2.9 million originally. So the fact that they got this at $2.45, they got about $500,000 to do whatever work they have to do. And when I look at the inside the house, it's actually not as bad as I thought. The kitchen looks decent and it looks semi-livable. So definitely from a price per square footage, this is a really good deal. But overall, yeah, this neighborhood, as you can see, it's definitely not very walkable. There's no sidewalk at all. There's a lot of signs that they don't allow you to park here. It's really hard to find good parking. You can see this car just kind of park on the dirt here. So I think that's just one thing you could realize about Los Altos is, again, it's just kind of on the older side. It's not very doesn't give that well-maintained vibe. But again, from a school standpoint, this house maps to a Mountain View High School, which is again a very solid high school. So yeah, just kind of give you a good feel of the market here in Los Altos. And this is kind of the bottom. So it's pretty crazy, right? It's really, really expensive, right? This is one of the most expensive zip codes in the whole United States. And so just give you a good feel of what to expect if you're to buy in Los Altos. So all right, let's go check out the next house. All right, so our next house, we're gonna drive about 10 minutes towards where we just were, actually really close to downtown Los Altos, and check out this house right at home. It just sold just a few weeks ago in the Los Altos neighborhood. So this house behind my house has sold me. It's a 4-bed, 3-bath, about $21.96 price per square foot. and it sold for $4.85 million. So that's about $2,200 price per square foot. So you're right, that sounds really, really expensive, right? But it was actually only 7 days on the market. So and that makes sense because when you look at the median sales price here, in about Los Altos is about $4.6 million. Again, the median sales price per square foot is about $19.33. So it's like a smidge above the median, but this is pretty much fair market value, and kind of shows you how scary the Bay Area real estate market is here, right? I mean, if it's a fair value, it's going to go up really quick. 7 days in the market, boom, 4.85 million, deal done. I'm almost confident there's multiple offers. I'm confident that's just way above the asking listing price, but again, it shows again how desirable Los Altos is. From a mapping standpoint, this place maps to Los Altos High School, which is about a 9 out of 10 on the grade school rating, 10 out of 10 test score. So again, very good for education. This neighborhood though is quite interesting. As you can see, actually right across the street, we're actually at like a condo complex. So this isn't your traditional suburb, right? In terms of like just all single family houses. So why is that kind of strange? I feel that's going to be more traffic, right? Less privacy, and normally that would you would think hurt the value of a single family home, but it seems like in this case it didn't really do much. This house still sold very well, way a little bit above the median sales price. From the rest of the neighborhood perspective, again, it's very similar to what we saw earlier, right? It's just not a great place to walk. I guess there's a sidewalk here, but again, it's just hard to, there's not a lot of great places to park around here. It's just not, again, a great place to walk. So again, that's kind of the vibe we're going to get here in Los Altos, right? They just really want to make this that very semi-rural area. Overall, hope you had a greater feel. This is kind of what the standard Los Altos house is, about $4.8 million. So, and this looks a nice house though, definitely not bad at all. But yeah, this is kind of more the generic, like what you'll expect to see. 7 days on the market, about $4.8 million. So if you want a house in Los Altos, you really got to come out to these houses really quick. When it comes on the market, you got to go check it out. So with that, let's go check out the next house. All right, so for our last house, we're gonna drive about 5 minutes north of the Regis War. We're still kind of relative near the downtown Los Altos area. This is actually technically called the North Los Altos neighborhood, just right off San Antonio Road. So we're gonna check out this house that's sold right behind me. Just closed the escrow just a few weeks ago. And as you can see, it looks really awesome. It's built in 2023. It's a 5-bed, 6-bathroom, about 5,665 square foot. So it sold for about $8.45 million. So this is the most expensive house that just sold this past month, which makes sense, right? It's a huge house. You're expecting it to like set a record. You want this house to be the ones that's setting the market here in Los Altos. It's about $1,400 price per square foot. So again, that's actually a very good deal, right? But I mean, obviously, it just kind of just shows you even the more square footage you buy, the less there is the kind of value in return, because there is something called like a market cap, as you can see. As now we know, the market cap here in Los Altos is about $8.5 million. So pretty much the more square footage you build, it's not really going to like up the price. So this house was actually listed at $8.9 million. So again, the listing agent was trying to set a record, but it was 57 days on market. So the market wasn't really biting. They didn't think that was worth $8.9 million. So eventually they were able to sell $8.45 million, which is still the highest record. So this kind of just shows you the market has kind of adjusted itself. All right, you try to set, no matter what asking price, the market will tell you what it's really worth. Overall, but yeah, this neighborhood is not very different than like most other neighborhoods that we just saw. Again, it's the same thing. Maps in Los Altos High School, so 9 out of 10 on the grade school ratings, 10 out of 10 test scores. Again, it's not, again, they see like a lot of dirt. It's not super walkable. Maybe a little bit better than I can see the sidewalk here, but again, like only parts of it has. So, all right, that's gonna be it for the tour today. Hopefully you learn a little bit more about Los Altos and its real estate market. And if you have any more questions about real estate or any needs that you have, feel free to contact me. So all right, let's stay connected, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. All right, see you soon.